MultiVersus has more potential than pretty much any game on the market right now. With the devs' willingness to pursue any character that the fans want, and with the sheer volume of characters that Warner Bros. Has access to, there is no telling what this game will look like in a year. Well, that's not going to stop me from trying. Hey guys, it's Nosy Boy, and today I'm going to put my Photoshop skills to the test and make a mock-up roster for year 1 of MultiVersus. Now, MultiVersus has been averaging a character every other week, and there are 52 weeks in a year, so I'm adding 22 characters to the existing 22 revealed. I know 22 isn't exactly half of 52, but the 54 character roster just looked much nicer than the 43 character roster. Now, before we get into my actual character picks, I need to give a huge shout out to Walter White from MultiVersus on Twitter. Yesterday, I just posted a little teaser for my next video on Twitter, expected it to get maybe 10 likes if it did well. And then this guy with his colossal following retweets it and got me literally 100 followers just from one retweet. He's one of the nicest guys I've talked to from the MultiVersus community. He's just a nice, wholesome dude. Great memes, by the way. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, I'd recommend following him just for the memes anyways. But yeah, he's been a big supporter of the channel, and I have to give him a shout out as well because he's great. Dude is great. And while you're on Twitter following Mr. White, go ahead and give me a follow as well. I would definitely appreciate it. But with that out of the way, let's get into my actual character picks. Now, one quick thing, I am going to be referencing Datamines. I tried to start avoiding them after the game came out, but it proved to be impossible. And, if I'm going to know about this stuff, I may as well make the best prediction that I can versus just purposefully avoiding data mined characters. So yeah, spoiler alert for some of these. But there are data mined characters that have been cut completely. There are data mined characters that were fully voiced and aren't in the game yet. Other characters came first. So being data mined does not mean they're guaranteed to be in the game. But if you want to avoid all spoilers possible, just don't watch this video, to be honest. Leave me a like though, it would help. Go ahead and subscribe. But yeah, let's get into the actual predictions for what the MultiVersus roster will look like in 1 year. Now, I'm only going to discuss the new characters, obviously, but I arranged the characters select screen to go by franchises, with villains usually going after the heroes. Our first new character is none other than Static Shock, or just Static. His show was absolutely goated, he's getting a new movie, and he's been found in the files. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time until we see Virgil in the game, similar to how it's only a matter of time until we see the Flash. Honestly, I think the best bet is for Flash to launch alongside his movie, similar to what they're doing with Black Adam. So, next summer, I fully expect us to see the Flash in MultiVersus. A DC character we could potentially see even before the Flash, though, is Raven. There are currently no Teen Titan reps in the game, and she's already fully voiced. There's also data for a Teen Titans Tower stage, and we could see this character as soon as Season 2. I just really doubt that we'll have to wait until 2024 to see Raven pop up into the game. I also think that we'll be seeing Poison Ivy in the game sooner rather than later. Not only is she Harley's duo partner, but she's also the most popular character in the Warner Bros. Pantheon with plant-based powers. She's in the files, has potential for a very unique moveset, and already has a duo partner. Sounds perfect, right? You know who else is perfect for MultiVersus? The Joker. This is a character that has more voice lines referencing him than any other character in the game. Also, let's be honest, he's the freaking Joker. We're talking about the biggest fictional villain of all time. I really just think we have to wait for the season where they add guilds and guild bosses. I think the Joker is going to be the first guild boss, but that's definitely going to be added to the game sometime in 2023. I would be stunned if we had to wait all the way until 2024 for the Clown Prince of Crime and for guilds. Honestly, I think we could see him next season. Now, this next character hasn't been data mined in any way, but dude, it's Marceline the Vampire Queen. Have you seen a more requested character for an existing franchise? I haven't. This character has taken the MultiVersus community by storm. She's by far the most requested character out of Adventure Time and Steven Universe. I honestly wasn't going to give either franchise another rep because I think it's important that we branch out to other Cartoon Network shows before they start getting more. But so many people are asking for Marceline that I think we kind of have to give it up for her. There's a ton of potential for a moveset here, and the devs teased that they moved a character up on their to-do list thanks to the fan demand. If I was a betting man, I'd say that character was Marceline. Since I'm already gambling with Marceline, I also think we'll see Craig from Craig of the Creek. This is a pretty popular show, it's actually still on Cartoon Network, and I think they're going to want to cross-promote a Cartoon Network show that's still actually airing. Craig is a fun character with lots of potential, and oh yeah, they also mention him in the files a couple of times. Why not also bet that we'll be seeing Samurai Jack sooner rather than later? We need better representation for Cartoon Network. Steven Universe and Adventure Time are very popular, but there are entire decades that aren't being represented. Jack just makes way too much sense for a fighting game, and I think he's one of the first Cartoon Network reps we'll see. Now these next characters haven't been mentioned in the files, but come on dude, how do you not put the Powerpuff Girls in MultiVersus? Now I think these characters should all be included as one rep, similar to how Aegis, like Pyra and Mithra work in Smash. Let them switch between the Powerpuff Girls on the fly, all of which have different stats. Bubbles is fast and does the least damage, Blossom is balanced, and then Buttercup is the slowest, but she hits like a truck. There's really no need to make them all their own characters. All three of them almost always fight side by side together, so it's very in character for these characters to fight as one unit. There's also no 3v3 mode, so making them all their own individual characters won't even allow you to play as them all on one team. There's really not that big of a benefit to splitting these characters across 3 roster slots versus just including them in one. Getting back on track before this turns into a Powerpuff Girls character concept, yeah, they're just way too important to Cartoon Network and they've got to get into the game. Just like how Daffy Duck is just way too important and he has to get into the game. The fact that Taz got in before our beloved Mallard breaks my heart. I mean, Daffy is Bugs' best friend, even though Daffy doesn't know Bugs' birthday, favorite color, or even what time Bugs goes to bed. Still, I do think we'll be seeing Daffy in the first year of the game. He's just way too popular to ignore, and I could even see him being the character they moved up on the to-do list. The only reason I want to give the edge to Marceline is I feel like the devs knew before the game came out that Daffy was popular and that they would need to get to Daffy soon. Now the last Looney Tunes character we'll be talking about is Marvin the Martian. The thing with Marvin is that he's been fully voiced for months, and at this point I think he may even be in the game as soon as Season 2. Only time will tell, but I would be shocked if we didn't see this little Martian in the first year of the game. You know how the lyrics to the Scooby-Doo theme song goes, "Scooby-Doo, where are you?" Yeah, where is Scooby-Doo? He's nowhere to be seen in MultiVersus. Well, he's probably coming up relatively soon. He's been referenced in the files, and he's kind of the mascot of the series. We also have characters like Jake the Dog and Rain Dog and Tom and Jerry, so I don't think there's any problems in terms of ratings for having an animal fight in this game. This is definitely a character where I would be surprised if they made us wait more than 1 year to play as this iconic pooch. And speaking of dogs, let's talk about Game of Thrones. While Arya Stark is a cool character, including her before some of the other Game of Thrones characters is kind of like putting Yoshi in Smash before Mario or Luigi. Sure, Yoshi's popular, he has a cool moveset, and he definitely deserves a slot, but we need to get the main characters in here. That's why I think we'll be seeing Jon Snow within a year. He's getting his own show on HBO Max, he's the main character of the books and TV show for Game of Thrones, and he's literally the song of Ice and Fire. Spoiler alert for Game of Thrones, but his mother is a Stark and his father is a Targaryen. Starks are ice, Targaryens are fire. He is a song of ice and fire. Not including him until his show comes out is a massive missed opportunity. You can always just add another skin for Jon Snow when the show comes out, or you could add something else to celebrate the show, maybe a character that's original to the new show. But I do think we need to see Jon Snow before any other Game of Thrones character gets into the game. I also think it'd be a huge missed opportunity not to see Daenerys Targaryen. Now, I do think I know why they went with Arya instead of Daenerys for the launch roster, and I think it's just because they wanted Iron Giant to be the first colossal character. That's right, I think Daenerys is going to be our next colossal character. I mean, when you think of this character fighting, she's always on Dragonback, and this is a game where they want to be very true to these characters. Daenerys on Dragonback is like one of the coolest things in the show. There's a reason she was so beloved until season 8, and you know, if we just ignore season 8, then this is a dope fucking character. So yeah, once they're done and they're happy with where the Iron Giant is, I do think we'll be seeing Daenerys Targaryen. Now, you know what would be just as cool as Daenerys on Dragonback? Mortal Kombat. This year is Mortal Kombat's 30th anniversary, and to be completely honest, I think it's disappointing that there's no Mortal Kombat in Season 1 to celebrate. Still, I think Scorpion is going to be coming soon, and I absolutely think they have to include Sub-Zero alongside him. If we got Gizmo and Stripe, then we can get the most iconic video game duo in history, other than, of course, Mario and Luigi. Now let's talk about Warner Brothers live action movies, and who better to start with than Neo from The Matrix. They reference The Matrix in Space Jam, and that's actually a franchise WB owns, unlike Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, so yeah, I think Neo's got an insanely good chance to be in this game. He could be a year 2 character, but there's something in my gut telling me that he'll be year 1. Now you know who is definitely going to be year 1? Beetlejuice. Now, I was raised not to say anything if I didn't have anything nice to say, and I'm not exactly a huge Beetlejuice fan, so I'll leave it at this. He's fully voiced, and we may even see him this season. You know what? Same thing for the Wicked Witch of the West. She is fully voiced and may even appear this season, although I have to be honest, I'm not very excited for this character either. Still, I know that Beetlejuice and the Wicked Witch have fans, and I'm happy for you guys. We should be seeing these two very, very soon. Now, you know who I am a big fan of? Dio Brando, baby. I'll be honest, if we can get one JoJo's rep, it should be Dio. He's one of the best anime villains of all time, if not just outright the best. He's been in multiple seasons of JoJo's, so he's a good rep for the entire series, and his relatives and descendants are in other seasons of the show. So yeah, Brando is extremely important. That also means that he has a ton of potential for skins, and you know what, he's just outright cool. I think Dio will be the first anime character we see in MultiVersus, and I think he'd be a great pick for next Halloween. Now let's get back to colossal characters, because I do still think we're going to see Godzilla in this game. I know Legendary isn't planning on making Godzilla movies with Warner Brothers anymore, but we could still see Godzilla. Legendary doesn't own that IP, and Toho might still be down to include Godzilla in one of the biggest fighting games of all time. It's just that Godzilla might not look like they do in the Legendary films. Godzilla did have a prototype character file in the game way back when, but you know, there was also data for Naruto and Hulk that's been scrubbed clean, so I don't know how much that means. Still, I am on Team Godzilla. I think we're going to be seeing the King of the Kaiju. It's just, you know, a matter of time. Now, before we get to the last character, let's discuss some honorable mentions. I already know some of you are yelling at me over the lack of Ben 10, Mordecai, Rigby, and probably even Spinal. Well, the simple answer for this is that I think they're going to be year 2 characters. The devs have been very open with us, and we know that Ben 10 is going to be a very resource-heavy character, maybe even more resource-heavy than the Iron Giant and the other colossal characters. They need some time to figure that out, And as for the rest of these characters, I just feel like they're guaranteed, but at a later time. I feel like these are characters that are going to be added once the foundation of the roster has been built up to be a little stronger. I mean, I think it'd be a bummer if Mordecai and Rigby got in before they represented some other eras of Cartoon Network first, right? Same thing with Spinal. I think they just need some more Cartoon Network reps before these characters get in. Aquaman is going to come out when his movie comes out, and that's going to be at the end of next year. And with the way DC is going, there's every possibility that that movie gets delayed until 2024. Lola Bunny is someone that I think we'll see in the game, but again, much later, once we get Daffy, once we get Marvin. Daemon Targaryen, I think, is just too new. I think we need to wait for a season or two of House of the Dragon so he actually has some moveset potential. And then Mob, I think Mob will probably be the second anime character, but I don't think we're going to be seeing anime for a while. That's why only Dio got in. And then we've got Optimus Prime and Sonic the Hedgehog. If we get guest characters that aren't WB, I think these are two of the ones you need to look at first. They're very iconic, people want them, and their rights holders aren't too stingy. They're pretty easy to work with. I mean, Optimus Prime was included in Smite. You can definitely get him for MultiVersus, and Sega puts their characters in absolutely everything. Just look at Fall Guys, or Smash, or anything else that the Blue Blur has been in. Now, that brings me back to our final character. A character that, if included, would make up for the long wait for Ben 10. A character that many people want to be in the game. Of course, I'm talking about Walter White. The devs love Breaking Bad, but more importantly, they understand memes. There is no meme greater than Breaking Bad right now, and Walter actually has pretty great moveset potential on top of that. I genuinely believe that we'll see Walter White maybe even as the 1-year anniversary character. The demand for him has become too great to ignore, and I don't believe that a team called Player First Games will ignore the players. Those are just my thoughts though. Let me know which characters you guys would like to see in the comments down below. You may have noticed that uploads have stayed on the slower side, by the way, and that's because I want to spend a couple of weeks working on higher effort, more Photoshop heavy content. Thanks again to Walter White for MultiVersus, and all of you guys for the support. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll smell you guys later.